everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. You're outside of the mine. You've tied Goat up to an old dead tree 100 feet away or so. Probably actually like 200 feet away, but whatever. Doesn't particularly matter. And here you are.
And I have loaded Goat up with about 100 pounds of coal.
Mm-hmm.
And we're actually done here. We camped for the night before heading back, I think. Actually,
right.
Not far, but I think it's the end of the day.
Okay.
So we stay the night up here. We moved some ways away from the mine. I already said I moved like a mile up, made camp.
Right.
And then we're going to head back to the forge.
Okay. You start making your way back to the forge.
So this is the next day?
This is the next day, yeah. Can I get a perception check from you to see who sees who first?
In lieu of bless, I have a sun scorch. So strength of stones, sun scorch, and still the vermin bear from yesterday. And fantastic. I spot whatever this is before it spots me.
Oh wow, you probably most definitely do, yeah. So you see as you start walking up a section of hill that you got to cross to get back to your valley. In the valley that you're leaving, kind of on the north end of it, there appear two creatures. Looks like a pair of hobgoblins. One of them clearly has some sort of metallic, shiny armor on, and the other doesn't.
Nice. How far away did you say they are?
North end of the valley, quarter mile.
Okay. I think I crouch low with Goat and watch them if they haven't noticed me yet.
Sure.
And then I think go to follow them, but we'll see what they do.
They just kind of march on in through the valley. You can find a spot with some brush on the hill to sit against, and Goat blends in with the terrain anyway.
You said the north end of the valley?
Yes.
So they're on the north side. I see them north of me. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think you're you're heading up and over the valley wall to get out into the next one over, and they're coming down the valley from the north.
Am I not heading south?
No, in this situation, you might be heading like southeast, I think you're heading like over.
Okay, but it's this, so it's like this next valley up here or whatever. Yeah. Hobgoblins coming from that direction.
So the valley should be running in a northeast southwest direction, and you're like heading out perpendicular.
So they're on the south side of the valley, heading north towards me.
No, they're on the north side of the valley.
Okay.
Heading south, and you're in the middle of the valley heading... Yeah.
Sure. All right, so I find that bush to hide in and watch and see where they go. They are not mounted on scorpions, I assume?
They're not mounted on scorpions. They're on foot. And...
How close are they set to intersect my my position?
At their closest, they would be 300 feet from you. If they were to continue down the middle of the valley... you would end up at a 300-foot distance.
All right. So do they spot me hiding in this bush? Should I roll anything to hide?
Yeah. You are a non-proficient hider. So like give me a non-proficient hide check. Yeah.
So 5.
Yeah.
17. A good go at it, but I am a dwarf after all.
They spot you very clearly when they are most of the way to you. They get to that like sort of midpoint and then immediately like turn and lurch towards you as if they've spotted you, and they were just like biding their time until they got close enough to act on
play it off. So how far are they when they break into a run?
About 300 feet from you.
Cool. All right.
And you will be up on the hill.
So I'm going for my tower shield. Damn, if only I had that halberd. And I will be calling down a sun scorch is only 40 yards, so I think I cast Strength of Stone first, and then a sun scorch. All right, so should we figure out how many rounds we have?
Yes, they have movement rate 12, so they can go 120 yards in a round, but they have to go uphill, so I'm going to say half the movement distance, so they can go 60 yards in a round. That's 180 feet.
So they'll be here in 2 rounds.
They'll be here in 2 rounds, and they can attack in the third.
Great. Okay, so the first round, I'm casting Strength of Stone. The second round, I'm casting Sunscorch. So I think as they're cresting this hill, the gods shine favor upon their chosen race, and the sun burns in the eyes of the dwarf with the metal armor. It like reflects off of his metal. Is it a breastplate or chain?
It is chainmail that this hobgoblin is wearing.
And he needs to make a saving throw. Yeah, saving throw.
The sunlight comes down, and the hobgoblin immediately like brings his hand up to guard his face, and then his hand just like catches fire and burns for.
Yeah, he's not. Hobgoblins aren't susceptible to bright light, are they?
No.
Oh, they're also blinded. I didn't realize that. RD6, so he takes 6 points of damage, and he's blinded for 3 rounds.
Oh my god, what is happening, Windows? You're fucking up on me.
And I've positioned myself behind a tower shield with my axe ready. And I think they close. So this third round, I think we'll all make attacks, unless they do anything dumb to provoke an OA.
God damn it. I can't click on anything on my computer. I can tab through things, but nothing
Your
can be
mouse
clicked
stopped
upon.
working?
No, the mouse will move. Oh, hey, now it's working again. Yay, it's
Weird.
working again. This is weird. Okay, but it's working. That's fine. Goblinoid.
So I think round 3 they've closed and we're rolling initiative.
Yeah, I'm trying to find their goblin HP.
Actually, one of them closes, right? The one with the metal armor is blinded and scrambling the last 40 yards up the hill.
11. You did 6 damage to them? To
6
one?
points of damage to the one in the metal.
Okay. That one puts his hand up, and the hand itself catches fire, and rays strike his face. He crumples to his knees and covers his eyes, screeching. And at this point, his companion will stop and stand defensively in front of his buddy, who's like freaking out. So then that would be...
Yeah, so I think they haven't had a chance to... So I guess we roll initiative, right?
Yeah, we roll initiative. How long is he blinded?
12, 3 rounds.
Oof.
Round 1. There's 12 on my initiative.
The hobgoblin goes first and takes a defensive stance in front of his friend.
If only I had that halberd. Freaking oozes. All right. So I think, contrary to their plan, this dwarf comes barreling down the mountainside towards them. Sliding over my tower shield, switching to the buckler. I take my battle axe and I close the 40 yards and come down from the high ground to attack this hobgoblin. You say he's interposing himself between me and his friend.
Yes.
So I think he probably gets a ready to action off when I close.
It will make a roll to hit with you for a 16.
That's a hit. AC 12.
All right. He has a small battle axe as well. He swings at you for a whopping 9 points of damage.
Yikes.
He just catches you like right in the side with it. You're wearing armor, right? It's slashing. It's hacking damage because it's an axe.
Gotta scroll back up in our messages. Hacking versus chain is reduced by 2, so it's 6 points of damage. Not good. And I return fire. With the 20.
Oh, that clears by 10.
Do they have any dex?
No dex on this guy. That is a crit.
For 7 points of damage.
Oof. He is not looking great. He is at 4 hit points out of the 11 he started with.
Why would you tell me that?
because it's really weird to try and be like, your monster's wounded and you don't know how badly wounded it is. So I want to try by actually telling you HP and see if that works, and I can just stop whenever I
don't think
like.
that makes sense in the grand scheme of things, but you do you.
I'm gonna do it
again.
Yeah. 13. No, what's the speed of a battle axe? 4? 13 for him then.
Yeah. What are you doing in these hills, Hellspawn?
Is that in common?
This is dwarven land.
Yeah. We seek animals for Polyphemus. Sacrifices. Offerings.
Iris. Is he speaking common at me?
He's speaking common at you, yeah. And you go first.
Yeah. 10. Does he have any dex?
Nope, not in the slightest.
3 points, probably reduced to 1. So
reduced to
just
1.
A gray.
He's barely
Actually,
hanging
this isn't
on.
the armored one. What is this
Nope.
guy armored in?
He's got no armor. He's just got manly chest hair everywhere.
Hobgoblins, OP.
The wounded hobgoblin will make a desperate slash at you, trying to hack your little dwarven feats off of you. And
I
just
get a bonus to my attack rolls, actually, that I forgot about. But they
Against
wouldn't have changed
hobgoblins?
anything.
Okay. He
Against
goes
hobgoblins, yeah.
to hack your ankles off and just digs his axe deep into the ground, striking stone with it.
Second attack. Oh, there's another +1 to that, so it's 15. Doesn't matter.
1 HP hobgoblin's going down.
5 points.
Yeah, right over the shoulder.
And I still have one more round to decapitate the blinded one. So he hears his comrade die.
And immediately throws starts flailing his axe around and screaming in frantic common, "Spare me! I surrender! I surrender!"
Lay down your arms and you may be spared.
He puts his hands on the ground, his hand over the axe, so it's still like sort of in hand, but he puts it on the ground and like bows towards you.
I step on the axe and like disarm him as he regains his sight and looks up to see this diminutive dwarf standing over him up the hill.
All right.
Who is this Panderhall that you serve?
Polyphemus.
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 I don't have religion or anything, but I'm gonna roll half my wisdom to see if I've heard of this god before. Oh, that's not supposed to be D10. That's supposed to be D20. But whoa,
He's definitely not any god you've ever heard of.
have I heard of him? Even
No.
with the 26.
No, this is what?
Yeah.
fuck is
So who
Polyphemus?
is this Polyphemus that you serve?
A hobgoblin in the hills.
Is he the one running coal?
No.
That'll-
He's a. Did I say hobgoblin? I did.
You're a hobgoblin.
No,
yes.
I'm. He's a cyclops. A cyclops in the hills. Herds, small animals, goats and sheep mostly.
What is his armor made out of?
It's some sort of brass or bronze alloy.
It's
sort of copper alloy.
It's chainmail, or is it a
Chainmail.
Yeah. I step towards him. I grab his chainmail, like a fistful of chain. Who made this? And I like pound on his chest with my axe hand. So I like punch him with the hand holding an axe.
Kind of keeping his eyes averted in the tradition of showing submission to another person. Because one of the craftsmen in my tribe.
Can I inspect it? How does it look?
It's okay. Quality 21. Average armor. Hobgoblins have been known to create things. They're the only of the goblinoid races that actually forge. Goblins and bugbears are scavengers with no real skill for that sort of thing. But hobgoblins they can be good craftsmen. Usually they're of middling quality. They often will take human or dwarven or halfling captives and have them, teach hobgoblins techniques and work as apprentices and, help with the finer work.
What are you doing here? Why are you where are you headed?
We're looking for favors for the great Polyphemus.
Well, you can bring his head and tell Polyphemus that these are dwarven hills. Now take off that armor.
The hobgoblin begins undressing. He stands like twice your height, you know.
Yeah, but that gives me the advantage, closer to his ankles.
Right. Your head is coming up to like maybe the bottom of his rib cage.
I'm up the hill, remember?
That's true. So maybe your head is at like near his shoulders or something, and he's like starts taking off this chainmail and tosses it on the ground at your feet, and keeps his hands in the air. Who are you? What is your name?
Zweihaard Blacksteel.
He makes a show of recognition of the Blacksteel name.
Now, get. And I guess I let him go after taking all of his belongings.
All right. He runs off down the hill.
I want to see where he's headed.
He gets down the hill and turns back north, bolting as fast as his large hobgoblin legs will take him.
You forgot your friend.
He doesn't come for it. Yeah, he leaves it.
So I go through their valuables and see what we've got.
All right. You dig through them. You find 10 days of food.
Cool.
You will find 2 battle axes, 1 set of chain mail. You will find a single knife on them. There are some bags, which they're carrying their food in, like side satchels that they were carrying. One of them has a length, like 50 feet of thin hemp rope. Yeah, and then they've got like hobgoblin sandals on that they're walking around in.
Okay, so I take all this loot. I probably leave a pile of coal here to make room for it that I'll come back for later.
Yep.
And I will head back to the forge, I think.
Yeah, it's probably pretty easy. You can just lay the chainmail over the donkey's back, and instead of it shoving in a bag, you just need to put the hilts of the battle axes. Sorry. And then you just need like room for the hilts of the battle axes in the saddlebags. So
sure, but I think we're running into weight limitations.
Okay, that makes sense. Sure, definitely, yeah, because
actually
chainmail is 40 pounds, so
it's 40.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're definitely gonna have to pull some stuff off the goat.
Yeah. Cool. And then we head back to the forge.
All right. You return to the forge that day. And all is fine. All is intact.
Yeah. We've got some coal. We've got some metal.
Yep.
One less hobgoblin in the world. And I think let's set about to forging. So I think what I want to do is research that hellish halberd spell. And I think, frustrated with the mask making, the helm making, I'm going to turn that twisted sheet of mithril into a sinister looking halberd blade. Ooh. How much mithril do you think I need to make a halberd blade?
What is the weight of a halberd total?
Halberd, I just deleted it. I need to look that up.
Let's see. They weigh 5 pounds total. Now, you've got like a 6-foot wooden pole attached to the head at the end. So that's the same weight as a spear, basically.
A spear is also that weight?
Spears usually weigh about 5 pounds, which tells me that the head is the...
Yeah, I mean, it's probably it's a thin blade at the end.
Right. Actually, short spears are 3 feet, long spears are 6 feet. Okay. I'm sorry, 3 pounds for short, 6 for long. So the head at the end is probably like 1.5 pounds of metal. Is that right?
That sounds somewhat reasonable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's definitely... Halberd heads are not that big. They're actually... Yeah, they're battle axe sized. 1.5 pounds is perfect.
Okay.
So 1.5 pounds times 0.28 is what we're looking for here. 1.5 times 0.28. So you need 0.42 pounds of mithril.
It's not even half of it.
Yeah.
Right. So the next morning, I will memorize Log of Everburning and set about to working on this misshapen chunk of mithril.
Sure. And can I suggest that since you already have a striker, that you make another thing to break up your remaining coins, or your mithril, into coin sizes? Because the mithril needed to make this halberd would exactly be 21 coins. So you could, in theory, make 29 other mithril coins, and it would be easier to dole out.
Sure. So
and track weights
I'll
of.
leave 29 mithril pieces.
Yeah,
And
instead
then
of
a mithril
having
halberd head that I'm working on.
right, instead of having like 0.4 whatever mithril coins. Yeah, instead of like 0.725 mithril, you've got 29 mithril coins.
So, so I think I do want to research the spell. Let me see if I can find spell research stuff. Money, the cost is 100 to 1000 GP per spell level. Okay. Yeah. But I don't know if cost is super relevant here, actually. Research, this is all wizardly stuff. Priests who lack a proper place to worship can pay a similar cost in donations or what. They literally say in donations or whatever. What book is this from? This is the Dungeon Master's Guide. Prepare a small household shrine. Neither the laboratory nor the shrine is particularly portable. Okay, so I think this forge is a suitable research facility.
Definitely.
There may be costs associated with spell research, but I think something like this is actually like the research. I think is just making the halberd out of mithril. So that takes some time. There's some percentage to. Like a chance to spell research. I don't know what just these elements. I don't know what the percentage is. So where do we want to start? I mean, so I guess, so the idea for the spell is basically as I described. It would give I was thinking it would be like a permanent spell that you would need to have valuable material components to make. And it just like imbues a weapon in this case. So I think in this case, forging a weapon out of mithril would be suitable. Otherwise it'd need to be some suitably questified piece of equipment to imbue the weapon with critical hit properties. And then I think a second use of the spell would be like as a memorized spell to enchant the halberd to strike. And the model I was going off of is like spiritual weapon lets you make that like hammer throw attack once per turn.
Right.
This would be a similar swipe with the halberd at reach once per turn without using your hand, yeah.
So you would cast the spell while you're forging the weapon.
So yeah, in this use, so I want to research the spell and then cast it while forging the weapon which would give it the critical hit property, I think.
Right.
Right, so on
Okay.
a critical hit, it has a chance to bleed, maim, or stun, or bleed, maim, or disable.
Bleed, maim, or disable. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, do you think this sounds reasonably in line with? I'm thinking a second level spell.
By bleed, do you mean the combat and tactics bleed?
I didn't want it to be that complicated. I was thinking even just like a one damage per round until medical attention is administered.
Perfect. That's fine.
And then I think the maim would be like a slow spell. So if it's a leg shot, it'd be 50% move, maybe penalty of 4 to AC.
Mm-hmm.
If it's an arm, maybe a penalty of 4 to hit until medical attention is administered.
Okay.
And then a stun would be like a 1 round stun. I don't know. Maybe and it'd be like you roll a d10 and like see how high on that table you get. Maybe if it's low, it just bleeds.
Mm-hmm.
Like 1 to 3, it bleeds. 4 to 6, it maims. 7, it stuns. 8, it bleeds and maims. Yeah, I don't know. We can throw a little mini table.
We'll
in the
probably
spell
want
description.
to. Do you want to come up with that description right now?
We probably have time to do that, but I'm not technically able to cast level 2 spells yet, so I need to gain experience first. So I think this is going to be like
Sure.
We'll wrap up the session and do that, right? And we also need to see if I can successfully forge it.
Right.
Is that all I wanted to do here? I think so. So do we want to roll that? I don't have a weaponsmithing proficiency either. That's what it is. So I can't actually make this until I level up, but I'm expecting I will level up.
Right. Or maybe you could make it with a -5 proficiency and then if you crit the whole thing that we were doing with Ferris.
I guess we'll do that just in the name of narrative, just to see how mithril works.
Right.
So the next morning I mem log of everburning and get the hot fire going with the coal.
Yeah.
Get the bellows burning.
Burn
And
the bellows.
I think I've got this weird smashed helmet that I heat up in the forge. You said there were tools in the forge? So there's like was there a pair of tongs?
There's a hammer and there's some tongs, yeah.
That I've maybe fixed up, or maybe So I pull this misshapen hunk of mithril out and pound on it with a hammer, like pound it flat. So I think what we're winding up with is just a flat twisted sheet of mithril that I'm going to grind into a nice, sinister, sharp blade.
Very nice. And you're still going to have the spike on the other end. You're doing the full halberd.
And I think, to let the narrative explain these, the critical hit properties, I think it's just going to wind up being this just twisted piece of mithril that, like, if it hits from the right angle, it cuts a little deep.
Yeah, it's got like little hooks and nasty little bits.
Yeah, let's go ahead and make that non-proficient.
Oh, right, non-proficient would be half.
Yeah, and I'll try again after I level up, I guess.
Right.
So it's normally int-based with a penalty. So my normal, even if I were proficient, my weaponsmithing would be 9.
Okay.
My int is 12. Do we want to go with the 6? Do we want to do like penalty on top of the 6?
Let's reduce the staff, the stat by half, and then apply penalties.
So it's a 3.
Ooh. So So wait, you said it's normally int -3.
It's normally int -3.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah, but I think this makes sense. That you then spend probably many weeks
pounding on this twisted piece of mithril.
Yeah, and it doesn't come out right, and so you redo it, and it doesn't come out right. And we'll say each attempt probably takes like a full day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that sounds good.
But with the coal and the log of everburning, I'm able to get a hot enough fire going.
Yes.
With probably just a couple cubic feet of coal to melt the mithril and work on it.
Yes.
Does mithril alloy? Do I know? Do I have to?
Mithril is a non-alloyable metal. It is. It exists naturally, but it is a semi-magic metal, similar to silver, but with. It's more like an ennoble
magic.
Certain monsters have a weakness to it. An innate weakness to it. But mithril is closer to like a noble gas. It doesn't really alloy with things. It doesn't really combine. It doesn't corrode. It has, fantastic flexibility and hardness at the same time.
The so-called noble metals do have some properties of noble gas. So platinum, gold, palladium are all called noble because they don't corrode, but they're also soft and they do alloy. But
yeah, not mithril.
Magic.
Yeah,
magic.
It's like aluminum, but without alloys.
All right. So what do you want to do? Should I just roll a bunch of d20s? So I'm pounding away on this piece of mithril for a while.
Just to see how many. Actually, second day.
Second day, I get it. I think I get it pounded, and I think would break through. Yeah. So I get it pounded adequately, and I found a suitable rock. I think to grind it. Was there like a grinding wheel in the forge?
There was a grinding wheel, but it's broken, so you're having to like just set it up and like hand grind instead of like wheel grind it. You can use it as a whetstone. It was just cracked right down the middle.
Everything's cracked here.
Yeah.
All right, but I get it sharpened, so I think I've got a suitable mithril halberd head after only 2 days. After only 2 days of pounding.
Yeah, it's surprising. It would normally take an amateur like yourself, even a trained amateur, much, much longer to craft a mithril head for their blade when they've never played with this metal before. But somehow here in this holy shrine of Seor, you've managed it in just 2 days. It's almost prophetic.
Okay. And I'll set this, I guess I'll put the halberd back together. That only took, how much that took? It was 0.28.
It was 21 coins out of mithril.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just keep it in track of coins then.
Yeah.
Pole arm, halberd, weight 5. So the weight is reduced. It's gonna be reduced to like 4.5 or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll just call it 4.5. We don't need to do 4.42. That's ridiculous. 4.5 is fine.
Cool. So I've got a mithril halberd, twisted and sinister. I think we're good. I think maybe we should wrap up and do experience so that I can get to the
fun
spell
part.
Research, and I guess I don't need to get the weapon smithing proficiency at this point. But
you're still gonna want one to get better weapons, All right, so let's wrap up here. Today's actions include fighting off 2 hobgoblins, an ooze, a nasty, evil ooze, who I'm gonna want to customize the XP on because this is inevitably far too low. That's why we have our custom experience generator. Average HP 4.5 times 3 plus 3. It averages 16.5. Low AC. It is 3. Average damage. Wow! Thank God that thing didn't never hit you. They do 2d8 damage on a blow. That's quite a lot.
which would not be reduced by armor. It might spend the first round eating the armor.
Yeah, I think the first blow would be reduced by armor, but then your armor would be corroded and gone.
Did you get the were-rats?
Oh, I haven't gotten the were-rats. I'm doing HP right now. Hold on.
Do I know yet if mithril is considered silver for purposes of that sort of thing?
Yes.
I would know that from like a mithril sword would be
a mithril sword
versus lycanthropes.
Yes, definitely.
Nice.
Actually, that's what I've been thinking up until now, but let me sit on that for the week, if you don't mind. Okay. They've got some of this. And any other properties to this ooze that I need to worry about? No. Full damage, no poison, no disease. Oh, actually, that comes out just about the same. Okay. And then the lycanthropes. Very nice. 9, 12 plus 1. 4. They were doing 2.5. Strong. Oops, that should be 1. Is that all lycanthropes give? Or were-rats? Were-rats have to give more experience than that. My calculator's only giving them 130.
I think by the book they give like 275, don't they?
Yeah, they give 270 by the book. Oh, I think, here we go. This is why their HP's off. That's why. I had it calculated as much lower than it really was. Should be 14.5. There we go. Polymorph, immunities. There, that's better. So we're at 920 with just combat. You did craft your first weapon made out of mithril, so I'm going to give you a 500 experience point bonus for that, for your first actual mithril item. And no other quest experience, a little bit of role-playing experience here.
Discover this Cyclops name. It's just Pemdercos?
Polypherum?
Polypherum.
Polypherum, probably. So let's give you 1,500 experience for the session. Yeah, letting the hobgoblin live, telling him your name, and telling him to warn people that this is your territory is definitely...
Bad idea.
No, it's a great idea. That's why we gave you a nice fat experience bonus for that.
All right, dividing that by 2 for the 2 classes.
Yep.
Brings my grand total to 3475, which levels up my priest.
So you are level 3 cleric now?
Yeah.
All right. How exciting.
475 /3. Let's go ahead and roll 4 HP. I think I'll just save my con bonus for fighter levels, or should I do it the first time I level?
You can just do it a half for each level. Okay. Yeah.
8.
Oh, 8.5 HP.
Oh, divided by 2.
Okay.
Or do I get, right?
Divided by 2. Yeah. So it's 4.5 plus half is 5 HP.
No, it's 4.5. Right?
No, it's 8 divided by 2 is 4.5.
8 divided by 2 is 4.
It's 4, not 4.5. Yeah, it's 4.5 total. Yeah, good job.
I already
Neal.
had half HP though, so 4.5 plus 13.5 brings me to 18 HP.
Sure.
And I think I get a new proficiency slot, and I get a second level spell. And I think, let me double check the proficiency thing. Anything else at a level 3 cleric? I don't think so. +1 to hit, but I've already got that as a...
Yeah, you take your hit from your highest class bonus. That shouldn't make a difference. You don't get saves until level 4 as a priest.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing we never talked about is my channel divinity. Is it a turn undead thing, or?
I don't think so. It's probably something better or something more appropriate for a god of crafting. We can stick with turn undead, but I think we should probably find something else. So why don't you?
We'll see what we come up with.
Yeah, we'll think about it for the week, and when we come back, we'll figure it out.
Priest number level 3. Yeah, so I get that other non-weapon. Do I just get the best? Or do I get them every time any class reaches a level? No, it's just
For
the
what?
best, right?
For saving throws?
For non-weapon proficiencies.
Yes, it's just the best rate.
So every time my priest hits a level divisible by 3, I'll get a non-weapon.
Yes, and every time
not
your
worry about the
warrior
fighter,
hits...
and every time I 3, I get a weapon.
Yes.
Okay. So that means I'm a full-fledged weaponsmith. No more penalties.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're good. Anything else you have to say?
No. That's it for this week's session of Dicing with Death. We'll be back next week, and I think we'll hear more about Polypherum. I'll double check his name next week, and we'll get
start
some
off.
crafting.
We'll research that weapon enchanting spell I was thinking of, and maybe we can land some crits on Polyphemus to take it for a spin.
Oh my god, you can go fight a Cyclops already. How exciting.
I don't know if we're there yet. We'll see.
Right.
All right.
That's it. We will see you guys
See you next time.
week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.